morning, everyone. In my previous session, I have introduced EPCS course to you, English Proficiency and Communication Skills course, pre-designed course for Vignans University, been introduced to you in the previous. And now I am going to start the first session in our practice. Now look at, this is our course title and our course code, that is 19HS104. And what is that we are going to learn in this course? I explained you briefly in my previous session. Now let us see in detail what are the components of our course. As I told you, this is the Cambridge official preparation material that we have prescribed for this course, and this is Objective PET by Louis Hashmi and Barbara Thomas. And this book has got these key features, and in this book we have got 30 units of learning, and these 30 units are going to cover a variety of topics which interest us very much, which are related to our day-to-day life. And one more important thing, as we are going to be the global citizens and we are going to work in many multinational companies, we are not going to confine to our own Indian culture, and we are getting introduced to even the cultures of various continents on this globe. That's why these 30 units will give us an idea of what is happening all around the world. And in addition to these 30 topics, we have got 30 exam folders. At the end of each unit, we will have an exam folder. As I told you that the final outcome of EPCS course is that every student is going to qualify at the international level, intermediate level, English proficiency test. And that test for first intake we have chosen is preliminary English test, and preliminary English test related exam folders are available at the end of each unit. And after every 6 units of study, we will have a revision of all the topics, and 5 revision units are available in this book. And along with this book, we will also get the CD-ROM, which is a programmed CD which you can install in your laptops or desktops, and you will have additional practice of almost 15 units available in the CD-ROM. And most priority has been given among the LSRW skills is listening skill, which is a passive skill, and we generally do not aware of how much that we are listening to and how well that we have listened to. Often we have observed, as per our previous performance of the students, that listening test seems to be a bit tough for our students. That's why a lot of practice would be given on listening tasks. And we'll have 15 writing folders, and writing is considered to be the advanced communication skill, and 15 writing folders will help you to master over your writing. And in each unit, you will find grammar spots, corpus spot. And finally, you will get one preliminary English test, mock test paper would also be available in this book. And these are the components available in this official preparation material of Objective PET. Now let us see in which way that we are going to focus on our learning. In my previous session, I have shown this slide to you, and this is a formula that we are going to work on. And in each unit, we are going to work on vocabulary. We are going to work on vocabulary, we are going to work on grammar and pronunciation. And the use of these 3 components in a flow state gradually would be working on our 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading and writing. And in this way, every unit the components have been arranged. Now let's move on to our first unit, and the topic of our first unit is a question of sport. We all play sports, and this is a very familiar topic We know some of our local games and we know some of the international games, and some of the games are totally new to us. Let us see what are the games that we generally play and the people play throughout the world, and what is that we can learn from this topic. In this unit, we are going to work on grammar and particularly present simple in combination with frequency adverbs. How do we use frequency adverbs in simple present tense? Next, in vocabulary, we are going to learn certain words related to sports and hobbies and the usage of the expression like a kind of. And when do we use this? And this is focus in vocabulary part. And the revision, the sentence structures like there is, there are. And these topics are going to be focused in our first unit. Now, let us see. Here, I am giving you a picture where you will find a word in which the letters are jumbled. And now you arrange these jumbled letters in proper order. You will be given a clue, and this clue is given in the form of a picture. And this is the name of the sport, and the sport is shown to you in the form of a picture. Now you guess what is this word. I think it is very easy for you. Already you might have guessed this word. Please check your answer. This is nothing other than the sport cycling. And now I'll show you some more jumbled words and you reorder them by using the clue from the picture. This is the second one, picture B, and if possible, you please note down the spelling of this name of the sport in your notebook. Because in the PET examination, where you are going to write each word correctly, we are expecting your fluency as well as your accuracy. Accuracy in terms of your spelling, your grammar, your structure of the sentence and the way of expression, everything would be checked. And I told you that PET is going to give a certification that you are very good at basics of English language. Now, please write the spelling of this word that you have guessed. This is the name of the sport and this is the sport. What is it? I think now you might have guessed by now. This is horse riding. And please focus on the spelling of this word, HORSERIDING. Now let's move on to the third one. And for us, it seems to be a new type of sport. And now find out what is the name of this sport. This is skiing, SKIING. By using the skis that the people move fast on the snow. And this is a sport in cold countries, a very popular sport in cold countries. Now, the fourth one, D, please guess the word. And this is basketball. Now, this is also something new for us, and the people in the seashore and the countries which have a long seashores generally would have this type of sport, and this is sailing. And please, once again, I remind you that please note down the spelling of this word before I display the spelling to you. And this jumbled order need to be rearranged into correct word. And I hope that this is well familiar to you, and this is table tennis. Now this is very famous sport in our schools and colleges. You all have played this, but I am sure some of you are not confident in the spelling of this. please write your spelling first and then check your spelling. What is this? This is volleyball. Before I display the correct spelling, please write the spelling in your paper. Yeah, now this is volleyball. VOLLEYBAL. Volleyball. Now this is a very easy one. This is tennis. The next one, yeah, I'll give you 5 seconds time to write the spelling correctly. Yeah, now please check your spelling. Gymnastics. GYMNASTICS. And this is also something new to our culture, and it is a very adventurous sport that gives an ability, the skill of a person and the agility of a person would be shown in this sport. And what is this? This is surfing. On the moving waves in the ocean, people surf. And this is also something new to us. The next one, here by using a mast, they are moving onto the waves of the water, and this is windsurfing. Now this is a very famous sport and India's national sport. This is hockey. We all know this, and this is also the richest sport in the world. And it has a crazy name, soccer, and its traditional name is football. And this is also another sport which requires a great fitness. This is rugby, and this is the last one where the person is crossing the hurdles and running hurdles. These are all come under one category of sports which we call it athletics. And the spelling is important here, and please don't go by overconfidence. Please focus on the spelling of each word. Okay, now thank you. Let us check these statements. How many statements are true to you? Look at these statements. Here I have provided you 7 statements, and whichever statement is true to you, you just tick that statement. Please look at them. I play football. I go swimming. I do athletics. I never do any sport. I watch lots of sport on television. I never watch sport. I sometimes watch sport. Whichever statements are true to you, you just tick these statements. And these statements that we are going to use for a different purpose. Now, please look at these statements. Here, we use the name of a sport, football. And the verb we have used here is play. And we have used another name of the sport, swimming, but we did not say, I play swimming. Here, the verb used for mentioning the sport that we engage in as I go swimming. And here, athletics, I play athletics is something wrong. I do athletics. Here, in the next session, we are going to focus on the use of these 3 verbs, play, go, do. Here, look at the next statements even. I never do any sport. I never play any sport is wrong sentence. I never do any sport. I watch lots of sport on television. I never watch sport. I sometimes watch sport. Here, I never, I sometimes. How frequently do we do these activities have been mentioned in these statements. And these statements that we are going to discuss further in our unit. Now look at the correct use of these 3 verbs, play, do, go. When do we use the verb play? Play is used when a sport that we are playing is played with a ball. cricket is a game that we play with a ball. And I say, I play cricket. We should not say, I do cricket or I go cricket. Here the next one, do is a sport that shows one person's skills. And here, one person's skills is athletics, gymnastics, where a person's physical ability and the skill, talent would be shown. And there we say, I do athletics. We should not say, I play athletics. Next one, go is used for the names of the sports that are ending in ing form. And the sports like skiing, swimming, and cycling, here we are using go. Go. So this is the correct use of these three verbs, play, do, go. Now I'll give you one simple task of using these verbs correctly. These are the names of the sports that we have seen in our first part of this unit by showing you the pictures. These are the words that we have extracted. Now, as per the rules of using play, do, go, now you categorize these words into these three columns. Here, first one is done for you. Football is a game that we play with a ball. That's why it is play football. Do athletics. Go swimming. And please place these remaining words in their suitable columns. Have you all finished categorizing them? Have you divided these words into these three categories of verbs? Play, do, go. Now let us see, check whether your answers are right or wrong. Yeah, please look at this first column where play is a verb used to the sport that we play with a ball. Football, basketball, hockey, rugby, table tennis, tennis, volleyball. These are all the names of the sports, and we use the verb play as these sports are played with ball. And then do, that shows one person's skill, and athletics, gymnastics are such sport. Then go is for the names of the sports that ending in ing form. Swimming, cycling, horse riding, sailing, skiing, surfing, and windsurfing. These are the three verbs, how to use them correctly when we mention the sport. Now, let us look at this simple exercise. Please fill the gaps with these three verbs, play, do, go. Now look at the first one. She is really nice and she can dash volleyball well. Now look at this. Here is the name of the sport, volleyball. This is a sport that we can play with a ball, and what is the verb that we have to use in that blank? Yeah, you are right. It is play volleyball. Look at the second one. In my time, I dash skiing in winter. And this skiing is the word which is ending in ing. So what is the verb that we use? I go skiing in winter. And look at the third one. We often dash table tennis in our room. Table tennis, the sport that we play with a ball. So the answer is play. D, you can dash horse riding if you want. Horse riding, the name that is ending in ing. So the answer is go. Next, first we run, then we dash some gymnastics. Gymnastics are the sport that shows one person's skill, and the answer is do. Now, let's move on to the next part. Here you can see some 4 certain sport that the people are engaged in. The names of those 4 are baseball, curling, snowfaring and karting. I am sure that we are not aware of how these games are played. Yeah, nowadays we can see in some of the amusement parks this go-karting, and the remaining 3 are still new to us. Now, let's guess which sport, that is, what is the name of each of these 4 sports. I'll give you 10 seconds time to mark your name for each picture. Yeah, now check. Look at what is the first one. It is snowfaring, and the second one is baseball, and the third one karting, and the fourth one is curling. Now it is a task for you. Please browse your internet and see what are these 4 types of sport and how do we play this sport. Now, here it is a listening task for you. You listen to 4 conversations and where people are talking about these 4 sports. You listen to those conversations and tell which conversation is about each of these photographs. Now, the audio will be played, you listen to, and then you tell which speaker is talking about which photograph or which sport.
Unit 1. Listening, Exercise 2. 1.
We always wear shorts. We sometimes wear shoes, but I usually have bare feet.
2.
We have a board, like the board we use for snowboarding, and we use a kind of sail.
3.
We use special stones and brushes, and we play on ice.
4.
You can go up to 45 kilometers per hour, so you wear a helmet, but it's not very dangerous. Really?
Now please check your answers. Speaker 1 has talked about baseball, and speaker 2 has talked about snowfaring, and speaker 3 has talked about curling, and the last speaker has talked about go-karting. Okay, I think you might have also listened to the feelings of those speakers when they are talking about those sports, how exciting they are and how curious they are to participate in those sports. Now let's move on to the next topic. Here, sometimes we may not know the procedure of playing a game or the tools of playing a game, or we may not know totally anything about that game. And in such cases, when we are expressing that, we sometimes guess to tell an unknown person, unfamiliar person, we try to give an idea to them. And now, when we are trying to give an idea about something new, we use a certain expression called a kind of. And this is a kind of. And what is this expression and how do we use that expression? Let us see in this small exercise. Look at the first question. What's helmet? If a person is not aware of, how do we tell or describe a helmet? Then we say generally that is the right expression to use. Helmet. It is a kind of hat. So it is a kind of hat. We say helmet is a hat. We can't say like that. Helmet is not a hat, but it's a kind of, because the person is not familiar with what is helmet. Then to familiarize some unknown object, we use this term a kind of. Now let us see these questions when some people have asked, how do you introduce something new to them by taking clues from here? Now please check. What is a racket? What is a racket? Racket is generally a bat used in tennis. Now look at what is a racket? It's a kind of bat. It's a kind of bat. What's windsurfing? Windsurfing, it is a kind of surfing on water. Next, what is table tennis? Table tennis is a kind of tennis. Lawn tennis, table tennis. What is rugby? Rugby is a kind of team game. What is a cart? Cart is a small car. It's a kind of car. And then, what is snowfaring? Snowfaring is a kind of windsurfing on the snow. So, use of an expression, a kind of, when we introduce something new to the unfamiliar people. Now, this is the grammar spot in this unit. I told you in my introduction that we are retrieving what we have learned for the last 1 decade. Several times you might have learned about tenses, the form of the sentences and other things. Now I am not going to repeat what are the tenses or what are the forms. Just I try to remind you of how we frame sentences and where do we place the words correctly in the sentences. Now, here the present unit has got the grammar spot of simple or simple present tense with frequency adverbs. Adverb here in this context is adverb of time, frequency adverb. How frequently do we do something? I always play cricket. I sometimes play cricket. I never play cricket. So playing cricket is my action. How frequently do I do that? I always play. I sometimes play, I never play. So, those terms which talk about the frequency of that action is a frequency adverb. And these frequency adverbs need to be placed correctly in the sentences. Now, let us see where do we place them and what is the right placement for these frequency adverbs. Here, look at a plus indication, minus indication and the question mark indication. Plus is a positive sentence, minus is a negative sentence and question mark is an interrogative sentence. The sentence structure would be different in these 3 types of sentences. Positive, we call it as affirmative sentence even, negative and interrogative. Now look at subject, I sometimes play football. Here, play is the verb and football is the object and this is SVO pattern, subject, verb, object. In simple present tense with third person singular subject, he, she, it, we add SRES to the main verb. And where do we place frequency adverb in a simple present tense positive sentence? Here, this is the verb and before the verb we place the frequency adverb sometimes. In a positive sentence, frequency adverb is placed before the main verb. Now, look at the negative sentence. Negative sentence is, I play cricket, I do not play cricket. She plays chess, she does not play chess. So, here we use do or does. The does is nothing other than adding SRES to the do form. We don't play football. She doesn't play football. And in the negative sentence, here this is the frequency adverb usually. This usually is placed before the main verb and it is placed after do, does. What are these do or does? They are called helping verbs and we call them auxiliary verbs. So, frequency adverb is placed after the helping verb and before the main verb in the negative sentences. Now look at interrogative sentence. Here, interrogative sentence is a question. I play cricket. Do I play cricket? She sings songs. Does she sing songs? So, before the subject, we place helping verb or the auxiliary verb. And this helping verb, subject, and then the frequency adverb often. And this is the main verb. Once again, the frequency adverb is placed before the main verb and it is placed after the helping verb. So, this is the correct placement of the frequency adverbs in a simple present tense sentence. Now, look at the rule here. Frequency adverbs go before or after a main verb. Now, you need to choose the correct option here. Either it is before or after. What is the correct one? Main verb. Here look at the key word here. Here play is the main verb in these sentences. Is the frequency adverb before the main verb or after the main verb? Yeah, it is before the main verb. That's why here before is correct and we strike off after. And this is a rule of frequency adverbs placement in simple present tense. Now look at an extension of this. Sometimes in the sentences we may not have main verb. The auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs play the role of a main verb. And in such cases, where do we place these frequency adverbs? So to be, that is be form, am, is, are, was, were, be, been, being. These are the be forms generally we use. Now look at, she is happy, I am happy, we are happy. These are the sentences where is playing the role of a main verb. So she is happy, she is usually happy. So here auxiliary verbs are placed here and after these auxiliary verbs we use frequency adverb. And similarly, he isn't always happy. Always is a frequency adverb. Never is a frequency adverb. They are used after it. Now look at second rule in this is frequency adverbs go before or after the auxiliary verbs. These are the auxiliary verbs and these are the auxiliary verbs and frequency adverb is placed after them. So after is the correct answer and before is the wrong one. Now let us practice this in small exercise. Place the given adverb correctly and rewrite the sentence. What are the given adverbs? Never, sometimes, often, usually, always. These are the 5 adverbs given to you and you need to use them meaningfully and correctly in the sentences. Now look at the first sentence which is done for you. Basketball players are tall. What is a verb here? Which frequency adverb is meaningfully correct here and where to place it? Basketball players are tall. write your answer or choose one word here and place it correctly in this sentence and rewrite the sentence. Now please check your answer. Basketball players are often tall. Why have we placed this often here? Please refer the previous rule, to be plus frequency adverb. Here, basketball players, this entire thing is a subject. And are is a be form. Tall is a complement. Be form is used as a main verb here. And as per the rule, after the frequency adverbs are placed after the helping verbs, after the auxiliary verbs, after the be forms. And this is the be form, and that's why it is placed after it. Rule 2 is applied here. Now, look at the next sentence. Cyclists go very fast. With our common sense, can we say that cyclists always go very fast? So we can't choose even though it is available, but meaningfully the sentence may not be appropriate. That's why now you choose the right word meaningfully and then place it. Where to place it? What is a verb here? Cyclist is a subject, go is the verb, the main verb, and very fast is the adverbial. Now, this main verb, where to place the frequency adverb? That is before the main verb. Now, please check your answer. Cyclists sometimes go very fast. So, this go is the main verb, and sometimes is frequency adverb is for the main verb. Now, I'll show you some more sentences. You please quickly try to answer them and write the answers on a piece of paper or in your notebook. Now, footballers are very rich. Footballers are very rich. I'll help you here. Are is the be form, to be. There is no main verb and we are using the frequency adverb in this sentence. So, check. Footballers are often very rich. As I told you previously that soccer is the richest game in the world, that the players earn crores of dollars and millions of dollars in this game. That's why we say it is often very rich. And are is the be form, and after the be form, frequency adverb is placed. The next one, surfers get wet. Surfing is something what you do on the waves of water. So once when you are moving on the waves of the water, obviously all the time 100% possibility is there that you get wet. Now you choose and place it correctly. Surfers is the subject, get is the verb, and wet is the complement. Now, surfers always get wet. So, get main verb and the frequency adverb is placed before it. Gymnasts wear helmets. Do they wear helmet? And how frequently? Now check. Gymnasts never wear helmets, where they are showing their skill, individual skill, that helmets do not, they do not wear, and that's why it is used. And here the placement is where is the main verb, and gymnasts never wear helmets. It is placed before the main verb. Now, there are two people in a tennis match. There are two people in a tennis match means two people as opponents are two people one side or the two people on the other side. Both ways that it is played. So in such case, which frequency adverb is meaningfully correct and where do you place them? Check your answer. There are usually two people in a tennis match. There is a B form. Two people in a tennis match is a complement extension. And there are the B form. After the B form, we have used the frequency adverb. The last one in this exercise is good athletes smoke. Do they smoke? Now, check the answer. Good athletes never smoke. Good students would also never smoke. Thank you. Now, move on to this. Here is slightly different kind of exercise to reinforce the rule that you have learned, where to place the frequency adverb correctly in a simple present tense sentence. Correct the word order mistakes. Word order. So which word to be first, which word to be next? And this is the word order, and this word order errors are there in the given sentences. You need to correct them. Rewrite the sentences. She comes often to my house. The first one, I explain you what is the error in this and how to correct it. She is the subject. Comes often. Comes is the main verb. As per rule 1, the frequency adverb often has to be placed before the main verb. But in this sentence, it is placed after the main verb. That's why word order is wrong. Now, let us see what is the correct word order. She often comes to my house. Now, work on the other exercises. I meet them sometimes in my free time. What's your answer? Now check your answer. I sometimes meet them in my free time. Here, meet is the main verb and sometimes is placed after the subject, verb and object. But this frequency adverb sometimes has to be placed before the main verb. That's why I sometimes meet them in my free time. It doesn't look an error for us because so many adverbs that we use interchangeably and as per our convenience, as per our local languages point of view, and that's why we call these problems, these errors as Indianisms. They do not look like errors for us, but for accurate English, for the correct English, that these adverbs should not be placed anywhere in the sentence, they have to be placed correctly in the sentence. Now, look at the next one. At weddings, people usually are happy and have fun together. Here the subject is people are happy. I am happy. I am always happy. But where is this usually? It is in the wrong place. What is the correct place for it? Check your answer. At weddings, people are usually happy and have fun together. So people are is a be form and usually is an adverb placed after the be form. Now the next one, I don't go often to the countryside. What type of sentence is this? Is it a positive sentence, negative sentence or interrogative sentence? I don't go. This is a negative sentence. And go is the main verb, don't is the auxiliary form. And what is the rule? The frequency adverb often has to be placed before the main verb and after the helping verb. So the answer is, I don't often go to the countryside. Next one, he usually doesn't make jokes. He usually doesn't make jokes. This is also a negative sentence. Doesn't make. And make is the main verb and doesn't is the auxiliary verb. And as per rule, usually has to come after the helping verb and before the main verb. This is the answer. The next one. We have a basketball team and we play often against other teams. What is a frequency adverb here? Often is a frequency adverb. We have a basketball team and we play often. What is the main verb here? Play is a main verb. So it is to be placed before. We have a basketball team and we often play against other teams. So please sum up what we have seen in this unit from the beginning. I have shown you some jumbled words and a picture for each word. And by using the clue, you were able to identify the name of the sport, and I insisted on the spelling of that sport. And when all those names have been listed out, we have seen the correct use of the verbs play, do, go. For sports being played with a ball, the sports that show one person's skill, and the names of the sports that are ending in ing form. Now, after that, we have seen various new sports and listened to the conversations, and we have matched the conversations with the photographs. And afterwards, we have seen the correct use of frequency adverbs in simple present tense sentences. And a few exercises have been done based on them. And this is all about the grammar, vocabulary, and various exercise parts of Unit 1. Thank you.